This is not warm, but it's not cold. Okay. So I don't know if it's any better than what you got. So obviously you're cold, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you come up here and talk to me just for a minute? Then I can get you like a blanket or something if you're really cold. My name is Detective LeBaron. My first name is Matt. So I understand when you talked to Officer Henderson, he read you your Miranda rights. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you understand your Miranda rights? Do you have any questions about that?
I have the right to remain silent, right?
Right.
Anything I say can be used against me in a court of law.
Yes, sir. So I wanted to ask you a couple questions. Do you want to talk to me, or are you willing to talk to me?
I can reiterate what I have already, shared.
Well, just so you know, I don't know what you've already told the other officers, so that's why I wasn't there when you guys had that conversation. So whatever you want to tell me is good, man. I'm just here to listen.
I'm very tired.
I understand that.
I began by asking rather than inquiring. I was going to say inquired, but sometimes it's better to keep things simple. I asked Officer the bald gentleman, Rinaldi. I asked him if he'd ever read The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Actually, first I asked him if he'd ever seen any rappers in the National Geographic magazine. He said, no. I said, me neither. I think he asked me, should I have, or something like that. I said, no, you should never. You see any rappers in the National Geographic. It's not something that's educational or valuable to teach about. Poetry is very, very essential to understand and teach and study. The rap scene and community and demographic is a culture that has that shares many perceptions that the community doesn't always teach us to be kind to one another and to respect one another and ourselves and women and to be grateful and to value things and so anyways, it has effects on our community, and then I asked, have either the gentleman Rinaldi, Officer Rinaldi, and not Hernandez,
Henderson? Henderson was the guy you talked to. He was the one that originally stopped you.
Yeah. So Henderson, and Rinaldi. Yeah. He was the one who stopped me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Henderson was the first one you talked to.
Yeah.
You were asking him something?
Him and Rinaldi, I asked him if they ever read the book by Stephen Covey, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. He said he had not. Said it was a book that he didn't, they probably wouldn't have read because it was more than 200 pages. It's a big book to him. So,
yeah.
I off the top of my head, again, I'm very tired. I can only recall about 3 of the 7 habits. One of them is to be proactive.
Okay. Have you read the book?
Yes.
Okay. I've heard of it, but I've never read
it. It taught me a lot. I mean, it is important to be proactive versus reactive. I mean, obviously, proactive is versus reactive, but so I just feel like I took a proactive approach to resolving, societal disease condition. Now, could I have communicated more effectively with other decision makers in the area? Yes, but I feel like I did, communicate somewhat. I feel like it was a decision that was agreed upon in many aspects. I just don't. I did what I thought I should have done, and that's that. Like,
you're being proactive for a problem?
Yeah.
Okay. Was the guy playing rap music or listening to rap music or?
Yes.
Okay.
Very loud in the parking lot.
Oh, okay. So was he playing it like on a radio or his phone or the car or something?
Yeah.
Okay. When you were out in the parking lot, you saw him or heard him listening to the music?
Yes.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know. That's why I was asking. Okay. Did he say anything to you?
No.
No? Did you say anything to him? You were talking about communicating. Did you say anything to him?
No.
Okay. What kind of rap music was he listening to? Do you remember?
All I remember is something about "you don't want no problems with me" or something like that.
Okay. So you wanted to be proactive to what?
To keep the community from hearing that type of a message. And obviously it wouldn't have been very effective, to encourage this person to live a different way, to.
So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but what was the music like threatening or offensive, or is that
absolutely.
Okay? Can you explain that to me? I don't listen to rap music, so I don't. That's not something that I listen to, so I don't know.
It was basically a message that implied that he, I mean, am I making sense? Your question is.
Well, what I'm saying is I don't listen to rap music, so
yeah, me neither.
I need you to explain to me what's offensive about it, like how it's offensive, because I don't listen to it, so I don't know what the message is. You know what I mean? Like I don't. If you feel that it's threatening to you, I understand that. I just don't know why it's threatening, because I don't listen to. I don't know.
The demographic is primarily, a group of people that generally, target white families and glorify theft and gang violence and things of that nature. And there are Mexican families, there are black families, there are white families who are all victims of, the type of the product of that.
And the product and the message that
Exactly.
the music gives?
Yes.
Or sends out, I guess, or, okay. So when you were in the store, so he was playing the music in the parking lot in his car?
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't say anything to you or nothing like that when you were in the store?
No.
Okay. So you just wanted to protect yourself and the community?
Yes.
Okay.
How did I do that? Well, that depends, on if other people in the community are ready to make a decision that's similar, and if other people were prepared or not. How it appeared to me as though the community was prepared for that type of a action. Do I know that? No, but I felt that way.
Okay. Why did you feel that, rather than like talking to him or something like that, why did you feel that you needed to stab him? I understand you were protecting the community, I understand that. That part I understand. I still don't listen to rap music, so,
Okay, because I am constantly yelled at, attacked, targeted by people who have this mentality, who listen to this music, who roam the streets in gangs, I am from a law enforcement family, military family, and I am constantly attacked, and talking to these people is not effective.
It doesn't do any good?
No, it does not. Okay? So, rather than be attacked, reacting, which is what I've done previously, I took a proactive approach, and I'm still alive, so.
Okay. Like I said, I don't know what you've been through. I don't know what your experiences are, so I don't want to put words in your mouth.
You were a detective?
Yes.
How long have you been? I mean, you must have patrolled the streets for some time before you became detective, or you?
No, I worked the road for about 8 years, and I've been a detective for about 10.
So you must have been attacked on many occasions.
Yes.
People who are in gangs, who listen to rap music. Are there people who listen to other types of music as well who target law enforcement? Am I law enforcement? I have this body language and mentality. I was raised by Sheriff Joe and not Sheriff Joe, himself,
right.
His influence,
Mm-hmm.
And my dad, just trained me to be aware of my environment and always thinking, always aware. And I have been attacked for a long time by people that are in gangs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not in any gangs. I've never been in. It's very common for you to be manipulated, easily manipulated. If you understand this disorder, you'll understand that there's a social disorder, and sometimes people are you're there are people who I've met, who I have trusted, and it may have appeared as though I was their friends or something like that, but it was really just I was being misled, and or I needed money, and so I engaged in some kind of business transaction, you know, and again, where other people may have understood that, you know, danger was imminent or that this person was not, you know, a good person, I did not. Okay, all I knew is I needed $20, and this person, you know, expressed interest in buying my cell phone or my laptop or something like that, and so I would go and I try to sell it, and I get robbed. I've been robbed. Okay, they've stolen it from me, and it continues and it never ends. Okay, and so again, rather than reacting, I took a proactive approach. I predicted that this person would act comparable to the way that these other people acted. He displayed the same.
Okay, can you explain that to me? Like what he did to, you said like body language and stuff like that. So other than the music, can you explain what he did that made you feel that way? Like he was going, I don't know, like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but like, if I'm understanding what you're saying, and clarify if I didn't, based on his body language and actions, you felt he might attack
try
you,
to rob me, or
try to rob you based on like previous experiences. I don't want to put words in your mouth. I want, you know what I mean?
That's right.
So can you explain what he was doing that made you feel that way?
It was his choice of music.
Okay.
Okay. It was that you don't want no problems with me. Okay. I felt like that was his way of expressing himself, and it didn't make me feel safe around him.
Okay. Where was he at when you entered the store? When you because I guess you guys went into the store. The guy was gonna buy you. It's my understanding that you were helping him fix the light outside, and then he was going to buy you a soda or something for helping him out. Do I have that right? The guy you were helping fix the light. I don't know what his name is.
What is your intentions? Okay, here.
I'm just trying to understand what happened. I'm a little confused as to what happened, because there was no. It's my understanding that there was no argument. There was no problem with you and the guy. So I'm just trying to understand why. I'm trying to understand, Michael. I'm trying to understand what he did to make you feel threatened that caused you to be proactive and stab him. I'm just trying to understand that.
I don't understand what you don't understand.
Okay, I mean,
I've been very clear.
You have. And there's nothing else. That's it. You just.
Yes.
So from my understanding, he was listening to rap music, and based on previous experiences, you felt he was the type of person that was a threat to you in society. So you took a proactive.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
Okay. I understand. I don't, like I said, I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I want to make sure that I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
That's my intention.
And again, this entire conversation was really nice because if you just review, you know, well, I guess we didn't get as in depth in this video of, you know, previous to this experience that we're having here.
Right. I don't know what happened before. I don't know. I know that you talked to Officer Henderson. I just don't know what the conversation was about. So I was just trying to understand. That's all.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The knife that was in your pocket that you had on you, is that the weapon that you used? It's like a folding. I haven't seen it. It's like a folding pocket knife.
Again, I don't know your intentions. So, I mean, I guess I've already really said, you know, everything that you would need to know to, you know, to harm me.
I just want to understand your side of the story. That's what I'm trying to understand.
I've provided you with that data, and I mean, there's probably all the data that you need to know that already. You just want to know now versus later.
Well, yeah, I want to talk to you now because it just happened, so your memory's good.
Yeah.
You know
Well, it's not, because I'm very tired.
Okay. Okay. I'm not trying to trick you, nothing like that. I'm being very honest with you. I'm not. I'm being very upfront with what I'm asking. I'm just trying to understand. Just so from an outside perspective, right? Like, because I'm not trying to make you think that I understand what's going on, what your perception is and what your feelings are. That's not what I'm trying to do. However, from an outside perspective, you know what I mean? It seems like it was kind of an unprovoked.
Yeah, well, okay, that's a perception.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It is a perception, and I acknowledge that it's a perception. That's why I'm trying to get your side of it so that we can understand where your head was at when it happened. Because like I said, from an outside perspective, it seems like an unprovoked attack. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, his choice of music, okay, it could possibly have been a direct form of communication with me personally. Couldn't it have been? So you don't want no problems, because I'll tell you what, when I was at the gym, okay, the night before the Black Lives Matter movement, okay, these guys have been attacking me for a long time, okay?
Trust me, I'm a police officer. I know what it means to be attacked.
Okay.
I understand that completely. Once again, it's just because it's a matter of, unfortunately, Michael, the way society is, the way the community is there's going to be people looking at this that are going to wondering why it happened. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I'm just trying to get, like I said, the reason why I wanted to have this conversation is because I wanted to get from you your words and your feelings as to why it happened, and I think we've established that. Okay. I don't mean to keep beating up on you. I'm just trying to let you understand why I wanted to have this conversation. Because like I said, there's going to be other people looking at the situation and wanting to know why it happened, like what caused it to happen.
Okay.
And you know, I'm going to have to try to explain that.
Okay.
You know what I mean? How do you feel about, I mean, basically stabbing the guy? I mean, is it?
I feel like there are over like 7 billion people on Earth, okay? And in Earth we have good people who have sound moral values, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And quite a lot of the people who do not live in America, okay? And there are good people here too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but in these major metropolitan areas, there's a lot of shit, and I'm one of the very few white people, you know, in the area, and I'm attacked often simply because I'm white by Native American people, okay, by Mexican gangs, by black gangs, and he was listening to music that was like these gangs,
right.
Okay, and it made me feel unsafe.
Okay. What was your intention when you stabbed him? I know you said you were trying to be proactive. But
what is anybody's intention when they stab somebody?
Well, in my mind, it's to kill someone. But I don't want to speak for you. I'm not in your mind. I don't know what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Okay.
So I'm asking you what your intention was. Like I said, there's going to be people looking at this, and I don't want to speak for you.
My intention was not to be killed.
Okay.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I would call it self-defense. That's my perception.
Okay.
Okay?
That's why I'm asking you, because I want it to be your perception and how you felt. I want it to be your words. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Right. So the music made you feel threatened, and you took a proactive approach to stop yourself from
being hurt in the future, yes.
Right.
Okay, because people are driving by me in cars, and they get out of their cars and they throw rocks at me, or they try to hit me with bars and poles or whatever. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I felt like he might try to do something like that to me.
Okay. And like I said, that's your perception. I mean, no one, that's how you feel. No one can take that away from you.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I said, just trying to understand. So, he had a couple of injuries on him. He had a wound back here and then his neck.
Yeah.
Did you do both of those?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. We're gonna do. We're writing a search warrant right now because I'm gonna take your clothes. I'll give you some other stuff to wear, but we're gonna take your clothes and impound them as evidence. Okay.
Okay.
Michael, so you're aware, he is deceased. He did die.
Okay.
Okay. And I don't want, like I said, I don't want to speak for you, but I assume that's what your intention was. So
my intention was not to die.
Right, you're right. I apologize. That's what like I said, I want it to be your words. So, but he did pass away. Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get a search warrant to get your clothes and some stuff like that. So you're gonna have to kind of hang out for a little bit until we get that done. I don't know where they're at on that. So I'm going to see where he's at on that, just kind of hang out in here. Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I may, but again, I'm exhausted.
I understand that. So I'm going to go check on the warrant. I'll be back. If you have any questions, you don't have to ask me right now. You don't have to think about it right now, but just kind of hang tight in here, and I'm going to see where they're at on the search warrant, and then I can come back in a few minutes, and if you should happen to have a question, you can ask me then.
Okay.
Okay? If you need to go to the restroom or anything like that, just knock on the door and somebody will come get you.
All right.
Okay? I know you're tired, so if you want to sit down or lay down or whatever it is. Are you warmer now? Do you need?
I am warmer now, yeah.
Okay. If you need anything else, just knock on the door and we'll come get you.
All right.
Okay? And if you happen to have any questions, I'll be back in a few minutes and I'll make sure if you have any questions or anything. Okay?
All right.
All right.